Hi, everybody. This is Veronica Valley from the Soberful Facebook group, and this is a free training Facebook Live on surviving the summer when you want to be alcohol free and not drink, because there are barbecues, there are parties, and in America, there's July 4th on Wednesday, which is a big barbecue party drinking alcohol day. And I know for some people that can be a real challenge, and I have a whole bunch of hacks and strategies that can get you through it with your sobriety intact. So I just want to tell you what I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover how to deal with all of those situations, and I'm going to also cover dealing with difficult people who insist that you drink, because when we stop drinking, it upsets the apple cart a little bit. And people who we used to drink with, who we may see at these parties and stuff, get kind of like out of sorts by the fact that you're not drinking. So we are going to cover how to deal with those people. And this is kind of a general life thing. It's not just those situations. It's how to deal with difficult people at any time of the year and any time of your life. So the first thing is, when we stop drinking, we make that decision, we have a whole year of firsts. So I have lots of people who come to me who desperately want to stop drinking, but they cannot imagine not drinking over Christmas or New Year or on their birthday. Like, those things are so completely entwined that those events equal drinking and being drunk, that they cannot conceive of doing those things sober. And the first year is kind of like that. You're going to have your first New Year, your first Thanksgiving, your first birthday. You're going to your first wedding, your first work due, your first farewell party, your first July 4th, your first Memorial Day weekend. All of those things, your first bank holiday if you're in England, all of those things are going to happen in the first year. And they are going to feel strange. Expect that is the first thing that I would say. Expect it to feel a little bit weird, because you've not done those things before sober, and it's going to be different. So what I want to tell you is, it does get easier. I've been doing this for over 18 years, and I've done, I got married, I've been to weddings, I've had tons of Christmases and birthdays and celebrations of every single kind, concerts, dance parties, all nightclubs, all of that kind of stuff I've done sober and been absolutely fine. So it does get easier, but it is a little strange at first. So expect it to be a little bit strange. Down the road, in a short amount of time, socializing without alcohol becomes normal and natural, but there's a little adjustment period. So you're going through a little adjustment period. That's all it is. And it'll settle down and it'll get easier. So we have these really ingrained habits. And I've spoken about this a lot, how one of the things that marketing of alcohol companies, what they do really well, is they associate certain events with alcohol, so much so that we feel that they're necessary. Now, what's really interesting about this is alcohol companies are, because they're profit driven, are expanding that range of things that you do to equal and use alcohol with them. You will be able to see this in, this is fairly recent, I'd say in the last 3 years or so, yoga and wine. Those are not two things that go together, but wine companies would like you to think so. I'm seeing a lot of associations with alcohol and exercise clubs. Again, alcohol does not go with exercise. Those two things are not compatible. However, the companies that market and sell these products would like you to think that they do, so that your brain begins to associate, when I do this, I also do this. And so you buy more of their product. So they've done that really, it's really ingrained in all of our holidays. Now, that a lot of that's just marketing. You don't need to drink to enjoy any of the holidays or events that are coming up. But just know that this way of thinking, the way that our brain neurotransmitters begin to fire off because we are triggered. We are triggered. I'm going to a barbecue. It's hot. There's burgers, the smell of charcoal, sunscreen, getting burned. I always have beers. I always have margaritas. I always have wine with those events. And your brain is very used to associate those events with alcohol. So expect that to happen. So what I want to talk about now is if you are feeling you want to go to your July 4th barbecue, you want to go to your party this weekend, whatever it is, but you're nervous, you're kind of scared, and you know it's going to be a bit of a challenge. This is going to be your plan. This is what you're going to do. You are going to arrive late and leave early, and have a plan of what you're going to do afterwards. When you get to the event, look for a safe person. There's nearly always one. And, to be honest, if there isn't, if you're going to a barbecue or party where everyone's going to be, excuse my language, shit-faced in a few hours, I'm going to suggest don't go into that party. I'm just going to suggest don't do that. It's probably not a safe place for you to be around. But if you're going to go and, some people are going to get kind of drunk, but others kind of don't, look for the safe people. Look for the mom who's still breastfeeding or the person who doesn't drink, because you know what? There may be someone else there who's not drinking. Hang out with them. Make sure you have like a little kind of couple of sentences as to, thanks very much. It was great. I got to leave because I'm going somewhere else, or got to get up early, or whatever it is. So have a plan to arrive late, leave early, and know when you're going to exit. Find a safe person. Those are strategies to get you through that event. Now, I'm also going to say that it's okay to lie. I don't say this very often as a therapist. I always encourage honesty, especially when it's difficult, because that's where the growth is. But if you are in your early days of not drinking and people are going to be like, what, and here, and try and push it on you, and because they're so used to you drinking, it's okay to say, thank you, I'm on medication right now and I can't drink. It's a stretch. It's not a total lie, because you're treating your alcohol problem. So it's not a total lie. We just don't want to go into the story. We don't want to tell people that stuff. I mean, if you want to tell people and you feel comfortable with that, go ahead. But if you're not ready, and a lot of people usually aren't in the early days, it's okay to tell a little white lie in that situation. The most important thing to do is keep it simple and repeat. Expect to repeat that more than once. Thank you so much. I'll have a soda. I'm on medication. I can't drink right now. And just say it again and again and again. And that usually will get people off your back, and that pressure away. People keep offering you drinks. Also, when you're going to these events, make sure you have some support. If you are connected with people who are not drinking, either in real life or online, let them know beforehand, hey, I'm going to this thing. Can I check in with you? Can I call you, text you, message you on Facebook, whatever it is? I plan on being there 3 hours. If it gets kind of shaky, can I contact you? Use your support. I have people ask me if they can do this with me. More than happy. Here's the other thing. You're going to start thinking, oh, they won't want to. They'll be busy. They won't want to be bothered. Let me tell you, whenever anybody does reach out to help me, I'm always really flattered and always happy to do that. So get over yourself and reach out to somebody and say, can I just use you as my buddy just to support me through this? One of the things that is really helpful, and I do this, I have one trigger for drinking. It's not really a trigger. I don't really feel that, obviously, because I don't drink, but it's a little stirring, I would say. And that is right now when the World Cup is on. So I love soccer, football, as we call it in England. And I love the World Cup. Love, 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 love it. And it's in the summer when it's warm. And a tiny little my brain goes, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go to a pub and watch the World Cup, England beating someone, hopefully, and having some beers and just chilling out. Now, here's what I do, is I think the drink through. So this is a really helpful tool that you can use whenever you want. Because when I drank, it was never that romanticized image that I have in my brain. That never happened. So I would go and have a few beers, and then I would get what is called the buckets, which is when I start spending money I don't have. I usually end up buying drugs like cocaine. I usually, like, what I thought was just a 2-hour thing to watch the soccer game would turn into like a bender until 6 o'clock in the morning. We would end up going to a nightclub or someone's house that I didn't know, and I'd wake up feeling shit and awful and terrible. So that is thinking the drink through. So like last week, England was on, the sun was shining, this little thought passed through my mind, oh, wouldn't it be nice to go to the pub and have a couple of beers? But if I did that, that would be really awful because it always ends up really, really badly for me. So I'm not going to do that. That's what happens to me like every 4 years. So what I'm saying is when you, we romanticize things, we minimize the consequences, we forget all of the bad stuff, and we just have these really blinkered, hey Joanna, we have these really blinkered view of things. And we only, it's not that we even remember the good things that happen when we drink, because there are some good things that happen when we drink. We kind of go back in time to how our drinking was at the very beginning before we had any really bad consequences. Or we have a little fantasy of what we think it should be like, it could be like this one last time. If you've done that a bunch of times and it's never worked out that way, newsflash, it's not going to work out that way ever. It's not. So think the drink through, what normally happens. So I just want to talk about alcohol triggers. So it's very common in the first few months, year or so, to have triggers, which is because our brains are set up in certain ways to, when we are, it's like dominoes going down. So basically what happens is the first domino goes down, we smell the barbecue and charcoal, and then the next one, and then bang, we're drinking. It's because we've been triggered by something, by a smell, a thought, or certain behavior. Those trigger us for our bodies to expect alcohol. So be aware of your triggers. And I just want to mention, I'm currently running a 50% sale off of all of my coaching programs, and I have an off-the-shelf coaching program. It's an hour workshop on using emotional freedom technique, which is EFT, on alcohol triggers, and that's on sale right now for 50% off. I'll put the link in the comments for you, and you can use that, and it goes in real detail about how to deal with alcohol triggers so that you completely collapse those feelings of cravings and being triggered by whatever it is. So if that's on sale for, I think it's usually $89. I think it's $47 right now for 4 days. So please, hey Tori. So please, by all means, go and use that, because it's really going to help you and will set you up to deal with going into situations that used to trigger you. So I want to move on to dealing with difficult people. So I've talked about this a lot. If you're in a group of people, some of us are very isolated and lonely at the end of our drinking. However, a lot of us still have a group of people that we used to drink with, or maybe it's our family group or kind of co-workers where you used to just be one of the people who drank. And you are going to have people who are very disturbed by your sobriety. Now, here's the thing. When we stop drinking in a group, it upsets the apple cart. It just upsets how things are, because before everyone knew that you did this and that happened, that's how it was. When you stop drinking in a group, you're holding up a mirror, because you're saying, I'm stopping drinking, doesn't agree with me, I don't like myself, I have a problem, whatever it is. Well, what does that mean about the people you drank with? That's going to disturb and bother them. So I want you to know that going in. It's really important to understand how other people are perceiving what you are doing. So here's the thing. It's not, when they have a problem with you, your sobriety, it's never about you. It's about their drinking. It's about their drinking. So you are making them feel uncomfortable. So the easiest thing in their minds for you to do is to revert back to how you were. And then we're all back. Apple's all back on the cart. We're all good. So they will either subtly or unsubtly try and persuade you to stop being sober and to just have a couple. It's going to be fine. You don't, I always find this really funny. When you stop drinking, that group of people, friends, whoever it is, all of a sudden become experts in addiction. And you'll find your friend Joe and Sarah and Tom, Dick and Harry all of a sudden are experts in alcoholism and addiction and sobriety, and will tell you, you don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. Don't worry about it. You can just have two and stop. Like, seriously, what the fuck? Like, where did they get their degree from? So you'll all of a sudden be surrounded by these experts in drinking and alcohol. They're, okay, secret, they're not experts. They don't know what they're talking about. So put that to one side and know that everything they say and everything they do is because your non-drinking has made them feel uncomfortable. You are not responsible for their feelings. You are not responsible to change yourself to help other people feel better. And that's a really massive learning and growth opportunity that I teach over and over in many different situations, because many of us are people pleasers and we tie ourselves up in knots to change what we do so other people feel better. We are responsible for our own feelings and our own experience in life. So this is what you're going to do. What will happen is they will invite you into a dance like this. What they will do is they will lay down a little trap for you. It's an invitation. And what more than often happens is we fall right into it. And they will do this by inviting you into an argument, discussion, or debate about drinking or not drinking, and what's an alcoholic and what's not an alcoholic, and their great Uncle Fred who lived to 110 and smoked 40 cigarettes and drank 20 pints every day and was absolutely right as rain, so you're going to be fine, all that bullshit. They will invite you into that so that they can pull you in to the point where you go, yeah, I'll just have a couple and it will be fine. Don't accept the invitation. How do you not accept the invitation? By keeping things very, very simple and repeating them. So they'll say whatever it is they say. They'll say, look, don't be so stupid. Like, you've not had a drink for 2 months. It's going to be fine. Have a couple of drinks, then have a soda. You'll be fine. You'll be joining all this kind of stuff. And there'll be a little voice in your head going, maybe you're right. Maybe it will be okay. But remember, you've thought through the drink. You know what happens. You have a pattern. You have a history. That it's not going to get you anywhere. So you're just going to say, thanks. I'm just going to stick to soda or whatever. And then they're going to try again. They're going to come at you from a different angle. And they're going to keep coming at you from different angles. The point is, just don't go down those roads. Listen. Just listen to them. Just listen to what they're saying. Most people in this situation, they just want to talk. They just want to hear themselves talk. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about them rationalizing their own drinking. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Loretta. You're right. These are push-pull triggers, push-pull triggers. So what they do is they try and hook you like this, and you hook and you're like this. Push-pull, push-pull, push-pull. So here's what's going to happen is they're going to go like this, and you're going to do this. There's nowhere to hook because you're going to keep it simple and repeat. Keep it simple and repeat. You're going to listen. Just let them talk. Let them talk. They don't need you to say anything. They just want to hear themselves rationalize that their drinking is okay. And that's all they want to do. So you're just going to listen. You're going to say, thanks. I'm just going to have a Coke or whatever it is. And just repeat it. And I promise you, eventually, they're going to just get bored because you're not engaging in the dance. Those are my best tips to get through like the summer and all those triggers that are going on. I mean, I know we have them every week, every day, every year, but the summer, I kind of, it has its own kind of personal challenges. And this is really, it's so much, everything that I've taught you is just so much bigger than just getting through a July 4th barbecue. It's about letting go of what you think other people think about you. And it's about letting go of being responsible for other people's feelings. And I just want, when I work with people, I work with that stuff a lot because that was me and I couldn't be free. And when I talk about freedom, I'm talking about freedom in my mind until I learned how to do those things. So I just want to tell you before you go, if you're not aware, I have a 50% sale off of all my coaching programs. That's to work with me or Chip for the next 4 days, 50% off until we sell out or until the 4 days are up. Lots of times people think they can't afford to work with us, and we want to give you that opportunity. We have lots of different packages at lots of different price ranges, and they're all 50% off. If you want to work with us, if you want to find out which package is the right one for you, there is a link in the description right here on Facebook, on Instagram. It's in my bio, and you can go ahead and book a discovery call, and we can talk through about which one works for you, and go ahead and get that started. The workshops, the easy way to beat alcohol triggers and the easy way to beat sugar cravings are also 50% off, and you can get them right now for, I think it's $47. Please let me know your questions, reach out to me. I love hearing from you, and I'm going to be back tomorrow with another training, and it's something you won't want to miss. All right, take care. Bye.